Well, I'm walking through the Student Union building at Mesa College. At the time, it's called Colorado Mesa University now. And I think I had sucker across my forehead because the Army recruiter and the Navy recruiter picked me out of all these people. And it's like, looked at me like, hey, come on over here. They had booths set up because it was like career fair, graduating. Yeah. I watched a SEAL video and I watched a Ranger video. And I love it because SEALs get all bent out of shape. I thought the Rangers were harder. I'll be honest. I thought, man, that's going to be harder to do. Now, and they're both hard. The guys that I serve with, the SEALs that are my buddies, they know I like to razz. They razz me back. And I thought it was cooler. I'm like, man, I know they get to swim, but damn, look at those berets they're wearing. The Trident was cool, but like, damn, that Ranger DUI, the Distinguished Unit Insignia. I asked both of them. I said, do people quit? And especially I was asking the Army recruiter. I said, do people quit, fail out of this? They go, yeah. I said, well, shit, sign me up. Let's go give it a shot. And my dad and my mom were like, you graduated with your bachelor's degree and you're enlisting in the Army? Are you an idiot?
Kris, you're a husband, you're a father, 75th Ranger, author, speaker, and founder of the 14th Hour Foundation. Tons more. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your time, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, no, thanks, Eric. No, of course, it's my honor. Especially, I love doing shows that are. Well, I shouldn't say that. MMA and combatives and all that, and the special operations kind of go hand in hand. So
yeah,
but it's good. It's good to have another audience to reach out to a different audience. Than maybe than just the veteran audience that most see me or you always associated with for years, which is, no, that's not knocking them. I love being a veteran. I'm honored to be in that core group of guys and men and women. And Eric, from here on out, when I say guys, that is a gender neutral term for me. Okay. So yep. I mean, but just don't want to offend anybody out there. Right. But for all the guys, men and women that serve, it's good to be in that group of veterans but it's also good to talk to guys within the MMA circles and guys that fight, because that's, man, I have much respect for fighters and some good friends. I always throw his name out there because I think he's a tremendous individual. Andre Arlovsky is a very good friend of mine and
nice.
Just a gentleman. He is. He's a huge teddy bear until he gets angry, but that's how you got to be. And so much admiration to all the fighters out there that listen to your show too and that have been on it, man. A lot of respect to those guys.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for that. Yeah. Andre's a bad dude for sure. I like to go back though on my shows. Like, you grew up or you're born in Colorado, but what was childhood like for you, man?
Colorado and traveling, you're saying?
What was childhood like for you?
Oh, childhood. Yeah. Childhood. I blacked it. See how I blacked it all out? It was no, I'm kidding. It was great. Actually, I was born in Alamosa, Colorado, and I grew up in the country.
Okay.
So, I grew up in Alamosa. Is very, very small, very rural. My dad coached at Adams State College. He was the athletic director there. Mom was a teacher. So I grew up with a lot of discipline in my house from having educators in my house. But you also, you got free reign. We're outside of town, so I could take my dirt bike and ride down to the river, which the Rio Grande River was right there. I go, and actually during carp season, they come up on top of the water. I could take my dog. We had a golden lab, and I was 7 or 8 at the time too, and I could walk a mile to the river and shoot carp that were coming up on the top. They come up on the top of the river during times of the year, and how many 8-year-olds gets to do that now? Parents don't let them do that. Or having my dirt bike and just take my dirt bike and go riding my dirt bike and jump over. In Alamosa, you have huge anthills, and they make them into ramps. I mean, they're built like out of concrete on how those ants do it. But go out and jump and your dirt bike. I actually fell into a septic system once because I missed the jump. Luckily, it was capped, so I didn't go into the shit. I just cracked my head open on the concrete.
Oh,
but kept going out catching horned toads, we call them horny toads, rock fights, dirt clod fights, BB gun fights. I mean,
right.
That's how you grew up, and that's how I learned. My parents, when I got in trouble, I got my ass spanked when I deserved it. When I shot my brother with the BB gun, I got my butt beat by my mom with the BB gun. But I wouldn't change it because you just had so much freedom, and you learn, kind of the hard knocks. You learn how to get hurt. You learn how to skin your knee and get up, and you learn a lot of discipline. And you learn how to make mistakes. One time I caught a fire and lit about 5 acres trying to light cattails because I thought Halloween one year we could go out and have torches. I'm 7 and
Yeah.
afterwards.
No way.
But yeah, those are the things that I think a lot of kids, unless you're really in rural America, which is hopefully what we're moving to here soon, getting out of Omaha,
Yeah.
is that you get experience that, and it does teach you how to. It really does teach you how to fail and get back up. It teaches you how to get hurt and get back up and keep playing and keep moving forward. I was very, very blessed to grow up in a time like that and have the freedom to really just go out and skin my knee as much as I wanted to, and still my parents weren't worried about if I was coming home at night or not, because I'd eventually come home. I just may have cuts and scratches all over me.
Awesome.
Yep.
So why did you end up joining the military?
You know, it wasn't nobody in my family aside from two cousins that I was close to, but I didn't follow their paths.
Yeah.
I've been in the military. I take that back. My grandfather on my dad's side was, but I never knew him. He got shot down in World War II when my dad was 1. So I never knew my great grandpa over there. I never knew my grandfather on my dad's side, but I go back to the story. It really is a story where I played football in college, was finishing up college ball. I wasn't going to go pro. I was good, but I was 5'9", 165 pounds. And unless you run a 4.2 40, you're not going to the pro. So, that was, and honestly, I was so burnt out with football at that point. And I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I was like, well, FBI, I was a criminal justice major. What am I going to do? Well, I'm walking through the student union building at Mesa College at the time. It's called Colorado Mesa University now. And I think I had sucker across my forehead because the Army recruiter and the Navy recruiter picked me out of all these people. And it's like looked at me like, hey, come on over here. They had booths set up because it was like career fair, graduating. Yeah. And I watched a SEAL video and I watched a Ranger video and I love it because SEALs get all bent out of shape. I thought the Rangers were harder. I'll be honest. I thought, man, that's going to be harder to do. Now, and they're both hard. And the guys that I serve with, the SEALs that are my buddies, they know I like to razz. They razz me back. Yeah. But it was like, I thought it was cooler. I'm like, man, I know they get to swim, but damn, look at those berets they're wearing. The Trident was cool, but like, damn, that Ranger DUI, the Distinguished Unit Insignia, I'm looking at all that stuff going. And then I asked both of them. I said, do people quit? And especially I was asking the Army recruiter. I said, do people quit, fail out of this? They go, yeah. I said, well, shit, sign me up. Let's go give it a shot. And my dad and my mom were like, you graduated with your bachelor's degree and you're enlisting in the Army? Are you an idiot? Like, I don't know. It just is the right thing to do. I believe in God. I have a lot of faith. I do believe that was the path that found me. I didn't find it. It really came and found me. And then I was off to the races. I did get thrown in the military the first time I was in. I did write about it in the Ranger way. I shouldn't say thrown out. I got honorably discharged, did some stupid shit. I got an honorable discharge. I did go back in though, and I redid it all over. I had to go through basic everything all over again. Wow. So actually I did it twice. So yeah, I like pain and discomfort. Yeah. And I went to the Rangers, went through all that twice, went through RIP twice, which is now it's called RASP, and of course got to Ranger School.
Wow, man, what a crazy story. I wanted to flash forward a little bit to probably what a lot of people might know you from is you were in Benghazi September 11, 2012 with the Global Response Staff. For those who don't know, walk me through that day of what happened.
I have been in a lot of people that are just starting, and it's great. There are people that are gravitating towards the story. I know 13 hours, people were worried that it was never going to be watched or it was just going to be a right-wing story. But now that they see that, like even myself, I got in the political little bit, last election. I'm like, that ain't me. Yeah. It's really not me. Boone's not really in the political genre. So more people are starting to see it now. But that being said, for those that didn't know me or Boone or have never really done their due diligence on Oz or Tigger, at that point in time, I've been deploying for 10 years, almost 11. I've been going overseas. So it was just a normal day. First day you do it, you start doing it. Yeah, your adrenaline's always there. You're always. First time I was in Baghdad, I couldn't even load my magazine in my weapon system because I was so amped up. Right. And people are looking at me going, are you sure you're a Ranger, dude? Or is that what I don't know. And that was when I was with Blackwater Security. But come to Libya, it's just your job. You're just, hey, it's okay, another day. Let's get this thing down so we can get home. And myself, we did reference it in the movie. It's really quick, and I credit to Michael Bay for getting the script right and Chuck Hogan getting the script right there. But Boone and I, myself and Roan passed away that night. He was a former Dev Group guy, a SEAL Team 6 guy. He's the one that got hit by the mortars and died. We had all extended. So we were all supposed to go home 2 weeks earlier, but we stayed because the ambassador was coming in, and we had a good rapport. The team, even though we all didn't get along, all of us didn't like each other. The team actually did work well together. So it was like, well, you're staying. Yeah, I'll stay. Why have new guys come in when we got a good rapport here, good gel going? Let's stay and stay together. It cost Ty his life that night, the next morning, but that's war. And I'm not downplaying it, but that is war. That's how you have to look at it. So really, it was just another day of, okay, all right, let's get this down. Boone and I were on QRF, so basically we were on standby all day anyway. So we're up at the crack of dawn when the first guy goes out, so we can respond, and then we're stay up till the last op of the day, which Oz was still out doing this meet and greet dinner with one of our case officers, which is portrayed pretty well in the movie as well. Yeah. And it was just, man, let's get the day down. I want to go home. I'm already 2 weeks over what I want to get home. And it really is. You're just trying to bide your time. A lot of times, 75% of it is it's just getting through the doldrums and the mundaneness of being overseas. The other 25%, maybe only be 15% of it is the holy shit. Okay, then you're underpaid. But the other 80%, it's like, man, I'm getting paid for this. And that's kind of what it was. Let's just get the day over with.
Yeah. Wow. Man. And the movie 13 Hours obviously came out. How realistic was that movie, or how did that portray to the realistic, events that actually happened?
We knew, and also I Michael Bay, and we're very blessed to have him and the production company, 3 Arts Entertainment, who's the one that produced the movie, that one that brought it to Paramount. Paramount made the movie. 3 Arts was behind all those scenes. We were blessed to have those names. Those are all huge names in the Hollywood and the movie industry. Michael Bay, 3 Arts Entertainment. If you Google 3 Arts or Erwin Stoff, he's one of the biggest players in Hollywood. Paramount, of course, everybody knows who Paramount is since staying there. Staying there 1960s movies. When they did a Wizard of Oz. I mean, that's how big they are. Yeah. To have those people involved, I think, helped get the movie made at that time, because it was I'd say divisive, but it did show the former president and what took place. It wasn't trying to put him in a bad light on purpose. That's just what happened. And people knew that it might affect the election. It might affect him getting reelected. That would be Obama. Right. And so we had to make sure that it was accurate. It was spot on. The script, the terminology we're using, the movements of the guys, which was excellent. I think John Krasinski, Martini, of course, Pablo was awesome. Love Pablo. He's the one that played me. Yeah. They did an amazing job just showing the realisms of what combat is, and being tactically sound, and the goofiness. I think a lot of war movies missed that. And that is what actually happens. Yeah. It's the jackassery. It's the dancing with flashlights, which I did. Yeah. I dance all the time. It's the smart comments. It's the laughing at the most impromptu times, because you're just dealing with stress. That is what actually happens. The colors. Yeah. Most movies, I love Black Hawk Down. I know a lot of those guys. Dale Sizemore's a friend. Colonel McKnight's a friend. David Floyd is a friend from Black Hawk. Those guys, but they show it so gritty, and it's really not gritty. The colors are, because your adrenaline's popping. The colors are just popping. The sounds are popping. The flashes of light. And Michael Bay really, you can knock him all you want with other movies. He's the only one that could get that accurate, because that's how he films. It's guerrilla style, a lot of it, which is perfect. Yep. But it's also the sights and colors and sounds are amplified, and that's real. Yeah. And so they got it right. I'll give you one scene, especially too with the actors, is we did a scene where I had a Mark 46, which is a belt-fed weapon, and there's a certain way you have to do the charging handle to make it look realistic. If you want to be a Ranger, you do it this way. If you do it the other way, you're not a Ranger. So there's a charging handle. You got to charge it palm up. Gotcha. Well, we went through one of the scenes where he did it, and I was on set. And we were on set for part of it. We were in Bay Studios. We helped with the script writing. Pablo and I became good friends. We're still friends to this day because we got to work each other a lot. But there was a scene where he did the charging handle with his palm down. I'm like, man, you can't do that. I mean, most people would not notice, but the veterans, especially the special ops guys, whether you're a Raider, SF, Delta, SEAL, whatever, you see that and the movie's done. I mean, you see that little thing that's off with the palm down instead of palm up when you're pulling the charging handle. Especially me watching the movie, I look at it and going, damn it, well, they had it until that point there.
Right.
So, and I caught it and I went to Michael because I was standing right there, and I went to Pablo like, guys, if you do that, you're going to lose your veterans. You're going to lose your special ops guys. And they refilmed the scene. They went right back and refilmed it. And to me, that just showed how accurate and how much integrity and ethics they wanted to put in making the movie correct. Yep. And it was. And all that stuff that you see those jets standing by, not coming. You see the people moving and not coming. You see a Predator overhead. That was all accurate. We actually even had more units that were standing by, 2 Marine MARSOC units, the 10 Special Forces group that you see loading in that helicopter that were moving. That was the SIF team. That was accurate. I mean, we had, and the 555th Fighter Wing, which is that base in Aviano with those Spasmers. They all were ready and standing by, and they never got the word. And that's why you see that where it's just people not moving is really, that's what happened. It wasn't you're not going. It was nothing. It was just crickets. Like, yeah, we're going. Nobody's telling us anything. And the more that's come out, there's even just more of the units and things that were left just high and dry to leave us high and dry. And it still hurts to watch. And honestly, it's harder for me to watch the movie now than it was when it first came out. Just, I think that just everything kind of still sets in even more so. But that's how accurate it got. And I'm very proud of how well they did. And I'm very proud to say Michael Bay directed the movie, even though, hey, Transformers, all that, whatever you want to say about him, he did an awesome job. And the actors were all tremendous. All of them were class acts. And like I said, Pablo is still a guy that's a friend. I call him and say, hey, man, what's going on? And we may have different political views. Sure. Which I don't really get into politics anymore anyway. Right. But doesn't matter. We can put all that aside and say, hey, still be friends. And they put all their political ideologies aside to make the movie. And I think it came through very well.
Hey, I hope you're enjoying the show so far. Wanted to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, starting with Rewebbed. They are the best digital marketing agency on the planet. I love working with those guys. Founded by a guy named Ian Inman. He's on a mission to feed 1 billion kids and help 1 million entrepreneurs. Go check them out. Tell them I sent you. Alpha Outpost, amazing monthly subscription box sent right to your door every single month. You can start for $5. They send you cool stuff like this. Go use the code TOPRATEDMMA for 15% off your order. Every time that I have a guest on my show, they say that's an amazing flag. Well, this flag here and many others that I own are from a company called Combat Flags. It's a veteran-owned company. They're on a mission to donate as much money as they can to stop soldier suicide. It's an amazing organization. Go check them out, Combat Flags.
Well, and when I was doing research on you and further into Benghazi, Hilary Clinton's one of those people that have just lied and lied. And Obama even called it a conspiracy theory, which is just mind-blowing to me. But, from your perspective as a president saying that, what goes through your mind? And has the Clintons or anybody ever reached out to apologize for that?
No, and that, actually Obama was the one that said it was a conspiracy, because I remember when I still was doing Fox News, this was on 9/11. He actually went to a college in Chicago, and students, and somebody was filming it. I don't think he knew it was filming it, or if he did, he was oblivious to it, or he was just so arrogant that he didn't care if we saw it. Right. But he did say, this is a Benghazi conspiracy, Benghazi. And I remember going on Fox News, and this is where I had to stop going on the news, because it was making me angry. Yeah. Because I said, what P. Hicks says, what you saw the clip, what did it make you feel? I said, well, I want to reach to the TV and choke him out. Yeah. And I had the Secret Service calling me. You really want to, guys? No. And actually, they came and visited my house, but I knew the 2 Secret Service agents, so it was kind of a joke. It was funny for me, anyway. For them, but it made me that angry, and that's why I since have let it go. They're going to continue to say whatever they want to say, continue to rationalize it, but they made mistakes, and they did leave us behind, and they did lie to the family, and they did, but again, you can only stay mad at that so long, and it just encompasses your whole life and makes you an angry, terrible person. And it did. It really ate me up. And until I was able to let it go and just say, you know what, God's got this. I don't need, we used to love seeing people in stocks, and you got to go see the hangings going on, or people and criminals in trouble. I don't need that. I don't need to see somebody prosecuted for their wrongdoing or criminal acts in Benghazi. I know it will be handled by God if it needs to be handled. If it's not, then it doesn't. But for me, they did wrong. They've lied about it, but they will continue, because that's how politicians are. A lot of them don't have any integrity at all. But for me to continue to be angry about it, no. I mean, you can tell I get a little amped up, but I'm not. I'm not angry. And that's funny that you said if they would have said they're sorry. Honestly, when I came back from Benghazi and we started to see things changing and see how they were trying, we saw it right off the bat. They're trying to cover this up, and I actually just told them, and this was back at the CIA headquarters, and it was to my main chain of command. I said, just tell me you're sorry.
Yeah.
And I'll go back to work. And I actually did. I went back to Yemen and worked another contract after Libya. I kept working. And I said, when I came back from Yemen, I'm sorry, that's what I told them. And not one person could just say, hey man, sorry we left you guys behind. And that's all I needed. Because I just wanted to work. I didn't want it. I had never had any intentions of writing books and move. I mean, that's the farthest thing from my mind. But we couldn't even get just a sorry, even from Director Brennan, or even from Mike Morrell, or even from, it would have been nice, Hillary or the president. And it didn't need to be public. It could have just been behind closed doors. And I said that.
Yeah.
Behind closed doors to my immediate chain of command. Just have somebody apologize.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, all right. If that's not how it's going to go, then all right, then we're going to go tell people what happened. This is what's going to happen.
Yeah. What does John 15:13 mean to you?
Actually, I don't know if you can see it behind me. That's actually the verse on my wall. I've had it up there since I was deploying. I mean, it didn't come through after Benghazi. Most veterans serve, and if you go to the Texas A&M and you go to the Corps there, you'll see it up on their banner. That's a thing that veterans really serve by. And I will paraphrase it because I always get it wrong. And the different versions, Bible versions, have it differently. Right. But to me, it's love is no greater than this, that a man lay down his life for his friend. It's sacrifice. It's giving yourself for others. It's what Roan and Bub did for us. They gave their lives to protect us and to protect people that were there. And veterans that go overseas every day that are willing to lay their lives down for our freedoms and to protect those freedoms and protect people. But that is essentially what that means to me. Is it just means sacrifice. Are you willing to sacrifice yourself? And everybody that signed their name on the dotted line and serves has been willing to sacrifice themselves, even if they know it or not, even if they're doing it for college money. They'll figure it out real quick that they have. And I believe in that. And I think that's how everybody should live. Everybody should be willing to give something of yourself for your fellow man. And that's what John 15:13 means to me. And it meant to me when I was deploying, and it still means to me to this day.
Yeah. So awesome. I'm a believer as well. And so absolutely just love that verse as well, man. But you have this awesome podcast called the Battleline Podcast. And I mean, for those who don't know about it, I've been watching it. Your actually first episode was Andrei Arlovsky. What's this podcast all about, man?
Well, we started it, myself and Ian Scotto. And Ian, I met Ian when I used to do the Will Cow show. I used to do Andrew's show. And I love Andrew. He's crazy right. I mean, and that's fine. Andrew is probably one of the most well-researched person I know. He's brilliant, and I love him. But he picks a side, and that's great. I have a problem with that. Yeah. But I met Ian when I was on Andrew's show, and I started Will Cow's show because Ian was the engineer on the show.
Oh, gotcha.
And then Ian went over to Soft Rep Radio or Hurricane Media and went to Soft Rep Radio. So of course I went on Soft Rep a few times when him and Jason Delgado was on it. My buddy Andrew Dwyer, rest his soul, before he passed, was one of the guys that was on it. So Ian has always been in either with Sirius. He managed engineer David Webb's show, Bill Bradley's show. He worked with Dee Snider on when they used to do Fangora Radio. He was with Dee Snider on that. So Ian came to me a couple years ago, and we were talking. He goes, "Man, we should do our show." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's smart." I said, "I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I don't know how to do it." But he goes, "I got it, man. I got it." And if it wasn't for somebody that was an expert in that field, which he is, I wouldn't have done it because I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Right.
And I wanted to make sure made sure it was professional, make sure it was well done. And we just started. And our main goal was to not be political. Our main goal was to not have guests that are going to be left or right. It was not going to be a show like that. It was going to be just show about faith, overcoming adversity, because by that time I'd written my third book, The Patriot's Creed, which all my books were based in faith, even though there's an F-bomb or two in them, because that's just how it is.
Sure.
You can believe in God, still cuss every once in a while.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But it all was overcoming adversity. How do you overcome? And also there's sacrifice in there. I have a story about Sergeant C. Cash, about how he gave his life for his teammates, even though he's not got the Medal of Honor, he should have it. But yeah, it was always positive stories. There's negatives. You can go through shitty stuff. You can fall off that horse. But if you get back on that horse, you can overcome them and make something positive out of that negative shit that you might have gone through. And that was what the podcast was about. Now we had to figure it out. It took about 30, because I'd never done one, but after every episode, I do a little AER, an after action review of, okay, what did I need to do better? And I listen to guys like yourself that had podcasts, or guys that have been doing it for a while. Like, okay, what did I do wrong? Am I talking too much? Because I'm not the guest anymore. I had to get away from, I'm not the guest. Like right now I'm talking the whole time. Wait, I'm the host. I can't talk over my guest. So it just was figuring that out. Okay, how do I make it better? And because with anything, if you do anything, you want to make it your best thing that you can do, but you have to be critical of yourself as well.
Yeah.
And Ian was good to me too. He gave me some good self-critical pointers. But it ended up being, and it still is, we'll have anybody on.
Yeah.
And it is just stories about overcoming adversity. It really is. And from Debbie Rashawn, who and she'll say she was raped and how she overcame that to be, she's great in the splatter film. She's still a huge splatter film actress, but she went through her own thing of being raped as a young, and how she didn't let that scare her to just go into a hole, and how she's excelled after to where we had Tom Block, who lost his eye in a minefield when they got dropped in he was with 3rd Ranger Battalion, and how he became to be not only work with the Department of Health and Human Services, but how he overcame severe injuries and now is a power lifter.
Yeah.
So, and then we did, then we have Andre and Pat Militich and guys like that, because when you're going through and you're an MMA fighter, you have to sacrifice, give your life up to become successful in that. You have to. Any professional athlete has. And a lot of those guys have gone through, Andre grew up in Russia and now he's an American citizen and he loves America. And I say, you dirty Russian. He goes, I'm not a Russian, Tonto. Mr. Tonto, I'm American. He takes it to heart seriously. So he's very patriotic. So there's a lot of patriotism in. And we have guys like Andre that weren't born in the States, but now have got their citizenship here, and how they love this country. And to me, that just is another positivity that we can bring to the country. And then it's just the left is tearing this country up. Oh, the right is tearing this country up. Oh, they're both. Everybody is discriminated against. It's just, hey man, come on.
Right.
This is still the greatest country in the world, and this is why. And here are these people that have gone through shit, but because we live in the greatest country in the world, they still have excelled because they were willing to work hard, and they didn't take failure. They got up, picked themselves up, like my dad used to say. They fell off that horse and they got back on it and they kept riding. Yeah. And I think it's getting better every time because I'm learning the trade craft better every time. Ian's awesome. Ian's a pro. So don't worry about him. He knows what the hell he's doing. I'm enjoying doing it because, again, it's something different people can listen to that is positive and not just the negative, the world's going to end, which is what the mainstream media, that's what they do. That's what they capitalize on. They make money off it. Man, they make money off dividing and telling everybody, hey, the world's going to end. I say we don't export anything anymore in the United States except drama. That's the only thing we export to other countries.
Totally.
Drama anymore.
Yeah.
So, trying to have something different. I guess just different, and it's fun for us. Something that we enjoy doing.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. It being part of podcasting, I had no idea what I was doing when I started this thing, and 300 episodes into this, and man, just continue to learn every time I get on with guests. And selfishly, I love to just have a relationship with all of my guests that come on. I'm like, man, I'm so intrigued by personal stories, and so I'm just so honored that you came on my show. And before we end it, I wanted to touch base real quick on the 14th Hour Foundation. I think this is a really cool thing that you guys are doing. But how can people get involved with that?
Well, it gives grants to police, let's say first responders, but that's police officers, law enforcement, EMTs, contractors, military contractors, and veterans. And it can be from anything where we've paid off a car loan, like a car payment for a sergeant that she couldn't make her payment, wow, to where we're now actually raising money for a veteran that he got attacked in Iraq. He was injured in Iraq, but he suffered severe injuries when he fell off his crane, and he's now paralyzed. So we're trying to raise, and we've raised $20,000 to help him if he needs to, him and his family remodel their house so it's capable for him. Wow. So it's all those things. I got involved with it just because I was speaking a lot at the time, and I was doing a lot of foundation speaking, and it seemed like every one of them was competing against each other, or they were pinning to one area, like the SEAL Foundation only helped the SEALs, the Lead the Way Foundation only helped Rangers, and that's not a bad thing. It's just, it was like, man, they're only doing this. Why can't we have one that just does everything and even helps other foundations? We donate to other foundations as well. Yeah. Ranger Doc Ruiz, he has a foundation down there in Texas, a tremendous guy, and it's called Regroup, and we give money to his foundation so he can get his foundation up and running, because it'll help veterans when they need to get away and do the camping thing, do the outdoors thing, which helps veterans and helps anyone. But that's why I started it, and it's just grassroots. It's just taking a life of its own. And if people want to get involved or just donate to it, you just search 14th Hour Foundation, and it'll pop up, or you can search Paronto.com, and there's a page link for you. Just click it and donate. And just so people know, it's hard for me, brother. It really is hard for me. And a lot of these people that we give money to don't want their faces to be seen. They don't want to. So it's hard for me to show people that feel-good story of, hey, yeah, we've given this money here. And people need to see that, because they want to make sure the money's not going in my pocket and I'm not taking trips to Tahiti. I got it. I got it. But, and we're not. No, I don't take a salary from it. The only funds that go out is if I get, people do volunteer, but there are times when we do big foundation fundraisers where their money is worth their time. I believe it. And so I'll help them pay their expenses if they're traveling out. Sure. And we'll do stuff like that. But 90%, I'll full disclosure, 90% goes to the veterans or to whoever needs it. 10% goes to we do have overhead costs. It's just how it is. Yeah. But we've been able to raise over 6 figures in 2 years. It's not the problem we have raising money. The problem we have is giving money away to the people that need it. It's so easy to do a GoFundMe page than fill out a grant paperwork, that I think a lot of people would rather do the GoFundMe. But I'm telling you, if you need the money, guys, 14th Hour Foundation, if you've got your D-214, you've got documentation that you were a fire department or police officer or first responder, which is just an ID card, or you have documentation that you're a contractor, which I know what that is. You just get a contract. It's your contract that says, I work for SOC USA or Triple Canopy. You're going to get the money. I mean, unless it's to bail you out of jail or to pay for a bail bondsman, which I wish we could, the IRS will hammer us with that. So, you're going to get it. So, we've helped close to, we've given away, and you folks that have donated to it have given away close to $100,000, in the last, since we've had it going 3 years. And like I said, we've got more in there for people, and it's sitting in there for you. And again, I don't take a dime from it, and I never will. It's not, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in it. I'll pay people that volunteer to help. I believe their time is worth it if they will take the money, and they will at least take their expenses. And I think that's right. Yeah. But the money, guys, it's going to, 9% of that money is going to where it needs to go. And the other 10% is going to people that are helping make 14th Hour Foundation better, because they're traveling to do stuff that people get paid, people get paid $20, $25 an hour to do. And they're doing it just by on their own dime, buying a plane ticket and flying up and donating their hours. So yeah, it's been tremendous, brother. It's still going well. And now my better half, my wife actually runs it all. So it's actually running efficiently now instead of my dumb ass. My dumb ass. I'm just a pretty face on it now, even though she's prettier than me. You're just a pretty face. I got this. Okay. She handles everything now.
That's awesome. Kris, such an honor to have you on my show, man. Thank you for sharing your story, and thank you for your service, man, and all that you've done. I so appreciate taking the time, man.
Ah, dude, it's my honor, man. I love the beard, dude. The beard, you're rocking it.
Thank you.
Looks good, man. And thanks for putting that flag up there, brother. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. This is from actually a veteran-owned company called Combat Flags. It's one guy based out in North Carolina.
I know. They're great company. No, I know Combat Flags. They're give them prop. They do tremendous job. Good people out there. Great guys.
Hey, thank you so much for watching the show today. I so appreciate it. Please leave a comment down below. Leave us a review. Share this video. We want to get it in front of as many people as we can. I'm going to continue to bring on the best guests possible, from world changers, entrepreneurs, success-minded people. We are creating visionaries here on this channel. Thank you so much for checking it out. Have an awesome day.